All right, so we are looking at speed and motion, and I did make a little mix up in the pages, so just make sure you look for the essential question, describe and give an example of motion, describe the difference between force and motion, and give an example of average speed. All right, once you're done with that, please flip to the anticipation guide. You're going to write in true or false on the left-hand side. For number 1 and number 2. Number 1, your car traveled 200 miles in 2 hours. Your speed was 400 miles per hour. True or false? Number 2, motion occurs when a force is applied and an object changes position. True or false? Please flip back to the notes. So motion. All matter is in motion. And if you think back to a couple topics ago, we talked about how the Earth rotates on its axis. We are constantly moving. But we're going to look a little bit further into motion as in motion that we can physically see as opposed to the motion that is actually happening. So motion that we physically see occurs when a force is applied and an object changes position. Motion is described in different terms like distance and time, which can also lead to speed. And then you got velocity and acceleration. We are going to look mostly at distance, time, and speed. All right, so force. Force is an object that causes something to speed up, slow down, or change direction. Like a force would be me pulling back on one of these little beads and letting go. That is a pull on an object. A force that is a push. If I were to walk through the room to the door, I would push down on the handle of the door and push it open to move the door. I would then pull the door closed, and that is another motion. So force is measured in newtons. It's not something that you definitely need to know, just it's there in your mindset that Newton is force. All right, so what we're really going to look at today is speed. Speed is the distance an object travels per unit of time. It is also known as the rate of change in position, how fast you are moving your position. Speed is measured in meters. That can be kilometers, kilometers, centimeters, millimeters per second or hour, minute, day. So typically you're going to see something like this, m over s. All right, so speed in general, speed equals d over t. Well, if you remember my density triangle, we now have a speed triangle, S, D, and T, where D is distance, T is time. Okay, so we have speed, which is distance over time. Then you have the average speed, which is the total difference traveled divided by the total time it takes, which is the average speed. And if you look at this, you have S is D, distance over time. If I want to do time, you've got T for time with distance over speed. If I want distance, it'll be speed times time. Please ignore the bottom part right there. All right, so the formula for average speed is V, which is your average speed. So instead of S equals D over T, you're going to have V equals D over T. Don't worry too much about this. Really focus and remember S equals D over T. What I would highly suggest you do is copy this down in your notes so you have it. All right, quiz time. If you look to the table of contents, there is some white space underneath. Perfect area to put all your quizzes. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 1, something causing something to speed up, slow down, or change directions is called what? Is it speed, motion, force, or average speed? This is going to be force. Number 2, the rate of change in position is known as what? Is it speed, motion, force, or average speed? This one, the rate of change in position, that is your speed. Number 3, the total distance traveled divided by the total time is called, is it speed, motion, force, or average speed? The only one we haven't done so far, average speed. All right. Oh, we didn't do motion too. Sorry. This one, you got to use your brain a little bit, maybe a calculator. A car travels 200 miles in 4 hours. What is its average speed? So again, you're going to do the speed triangle where S equals D over T. Your distance in this case is 200 miles divided by 4 hours. Is it going to be 50 miles per hour, 200 miles per hour, 400 miles per hour, or 600 miles per hour? The answer is going to be A, 50 miles per hour, because 200 divided by 4 is 50. All right, a tortoise has a speed of 20 meters per hour. How far does it take it to travel 5 hours? So you can set it up so you do the butterfly where you have 20 hours times 20 meters times 5 hours. And then you'll divide it by that 1 hour, and you will get, or you should get, 100 meters. Sorry, it's not divided by, you're timesing it by. So 20 times 5, 100. There you go. All right, let's flip back to the anticipation guy. Number 1, your car traveled 200 miles in 2 hours. Your speed was 400 miles per hour. Is this true or false? Write it on the right-hand side. This is going to be false, because if you take 200 miles, your distance, divide by that 2 hours, your time, it's going to equal 100 miles per hour. You're going pretty fast. Number 2, motion occurs when a force is applied and an object changes that position. Is this true or false? This one is absolutely true. All matter is in motion when a force such as a push or pull is applied on it. All right, let's go to the summary. Please ignore this bottom one right here. Motion is when a force is applied to an object. Force is when a push or pull is applied on an object, where motion is when that force is applied. All right, so that is it for the notes. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I hope you guys have a great day.